It's 2026, you're 20 again, and you've got no money. With all that you know
Okay, perfect. We're live right now. I'm live right now. Today is day number 8. Trying to make $1,000,000. At this point, I'm really tired, but no matter what, no matter when, no matter how, I will continue fighting for my dreams, bro. So today is day number 8, fighting for my dreams. For today's live, I prepare another video. So, and I also today upload another video because I need to upload one short and one reel, one TikTok is the same one, but I need to upload a video every day, a short format video every single day without failing. So I upload that video. I try to upload that video on YouTube like 4 or 5 times because copyright issues. So I'm really tired. I try to upload that video like during 30 minutes. So was very wow. Right now I'm really tired, but no matter what, no matter if I'm tired right now, I will continue fighting, and I need to upload, and I need to go live every single day in order to make $1,000,000. Even if I have no viewers right now, in the future I will have 1,000,000,000 viewers, bro. 1,000,000,000. 1,000,000,000 viewers in the future. That's a promise. Okay? And for now, I'm preparing myself. I will learn a lot today. I know that because today we're gonna learn from one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world again, Simon Squibb. Okay, guys. Okay. Let me put the counter first and let me share screen. Okay, perfect. Right now I have 57 subscribers. Yesterday I promised myself that today I will have 67 subscribers, 65 subscribers for today, but I only have 57. Only 2 more subscribers. Or I promised like yesterday I had like 55 subscribers. I promised 20 more subscribers. And right now I only have 2 more subscribers. 75 subscribers. Yesterday I promised that I will have 75 subscribers for today, but I only have 57, bro. And I upload a long format video and also a short yesterday. And today I upload another short. What I'm doing wrong. And also the live of yesterday. So what I'm doing wrong, bro. And I have no viewers, bro. Yo, bro. Oh, damn. Okay, no problem. Okay. We're gonna learn from one of the best entrepreneurs, and the title of the video is If I Woke Up in 2026 with No Money, This Is What I Do. Okay, very interesting. I have no money, and please, Simon, give me your wisdom, bro. Give me your wisdom, bro. Okay, let's watch the video. But also, wait me a minute. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. Let's go, bro. Let's
It's 2026. You're 20 again, and you've got no money. With all that you know now, what would you do?
This is Brian Scudamore. At 19, he dropped out of college and started a business with a single pickup truck. Fast forward to today,
Wow.
and that same business is valued at over 700 million.
Okay, oof. Drop out of school right now.
Dollars. In this episode,
7
Brian's going to
billion
peak, and that
dollars?
same business is valued at over
Million or billion?
$700 million.
Million.
In this episode, Brian's going to
$700
break down
million
what he would do to get
bro.
rich if he had to start again at 20 with absolutely nothing, including the one move he says most young entrepreneurs miss. Let's go.
So I would start with mindset.
Okay, focus on mindset. Point number 1. Focus on mindset. Okay, let's go.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Get into the right room. Make sure that you are the person that knows the least, where you can start to be a sponge and learn from others. Join an entrepreneur.
That's a very important thing. You need to be the person that knows the least, bro. Because if you know more than others, probably you are in the wrong place. Probably. You need to know the least, bro. You need to be the person that is at the worst point. If you're in a room with a lot of people, you need to be the person that is in the worst case scenario, so you can learn from others. An example, if you are a football player and you are the best in your group, you are in the wrong place. You need to be the worst. Probably not the worst, but you know what I mean. You need to be surrounded by other people that know more than you, so you can still improve your skills.
Entrepreneur organization, go out and meet entrepreneurs and talk to them. And so what you said earlier, that it gave me chills, it was absolutely so powerful. You started your gardening business and you found your passion. Your passion wasn't gardening, my passion wasn't junk removal, but by starting something, you get in that mindset of, oh wow, now I know what I love to do. And I think that's where most entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs who want to start, get tripped up. They don't have the confidence, but I don't think they truly understand and realize that if you just start a business, assume it's going to fail. You're going to learn something that will take you to your passion. So I would start with mindset. And then the first thing
At this point, my passion is creating videos, so I'm very happy. I'm really happy right now because I'm doing what I love. Creating videos, creating content, take films, take shots, and whatever. I really love what I'm doing right now. That is creating content, bro.
I would do is I would develop a vision and try and connect with, which is hard at 20, but what do you really want in life, starting with your why? You and I talked off camera and we sent a video to our mutual friend Simon Sinek, who says starts with why. Why are you building what you're building? I think so many people in their 20s say, I want to build something because I want to get rich. Studies have shown that that is not the most important thing at the end of a life.
It won't keep you going because
it won't.
you're selling the most valuable thing you've got, which is time, for money.
You want to have freedom, you want to be able to enjoy life and have fun. But what I've realized, especially from others, friends of mine who've sold their businesses, as you talk to, people who sell their businesses too soon have some regret because they go, oh my gosh, it was so fun.
A lot of people moan and don't realize how much fun it is, but you've got to enjoy the journey, basically, right? So
Enjoy the journey. It isn't the pot of gold at the end at all. That can be an important milestone for people, but start with your why and go, what do you really want to do? My favorite quote in the world is Walt Disney. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. What
Wait.
to do. My favorite.
Enjoy the journey, bro. That's very important. You need to enjoy the journey, bro. Right now, this is my journey. 365 days. Right now is day 358. Day number 8. 358 days left. So 258 days left, and I'm enjoying the journey. Even if I'm tired right now, I'm really tired, but no matter, bro. Let's continue learning, bro.
Quote in the world is Walt Disney. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. What motivates me, what's my why, is impossible thinking.
It's kind of fun fun.
But start with your why and go, what do you really want to do? My favorite quote in the world is Walt Disney. It's kind of fun to do the impossible.
Okay. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. And right now I feel like I'm doing the impossible, bro, because I'm trying to make $1 million in just 1 year. In just 1 year. Okay, the problem is not trying to make $1 million. The problem not isn't that I'm trying to make $1 million. The real problem is that I only have 1 year to do that. I only have 1 year to fight for my dreams. I only have 1 year, 365 days. And right now, there are only 358 days left. So, the problem isn't the $1 million. The real problem is I only have 1 year to do $1 million. So, okay. Let's continue watching the video.
What motivates me, what's my why, is impossible thinking. If you open your mind up to big possibilities, you never know they might actually happen. So I start with a dream in my mind. I would do this again at 20. What's my biggest dream? What do I want to see happen in this world? And no matter how far-fetched is it, I write it down as an idea on paper.
What else would you do as a 20-year-old now, wanting to start a business with no money?
I would figure out, first of all, how to find
your first $1,000. Find your first $1,000.
money. Now, some of the most powerful, largest businesses on the planet, take Apple as an example, right? Everyone loves Apple. They started with $1,000 out of a garage. 1-800-GOT-JUNK starts with under $1,000. Find $1,000. It's a lot of money to a lot of people, but figure out, you do have an aunt, an uncle,
Clean
someone.
cars at the weekend, you'd make half of that.
Exactly.
I think people, I agree with you. Learn to do the stuff you don't want to do so you can make the money you need to do the thing you want to do.
And go start something. So as a kid, 12 years old, I go start a car wash in my neighborhood.
Right, okay, well, I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
I'm on one
12 years
corner.
old, bro. Okay.
My neighbor, another kid of a similar age, thought, what a great idea. He started a car wash on his corner.
At 12 years old, I was just playing video games, bro. I was playing video games, and this guy started a car wash. So, I feel like a failure right now, but I know that I'm not a failure. But I was playing video games at 12 years old, and this guy started a car wash. Bro.
We were in this busy intersection competing. We had a price war. We went from $2 down to $1.75.
Merger,
65 cents.
just merge.
I know, but we didn't think about that. We weren't smart enough. But it was amazing. We were washing all these cars, making a ton of money, having a ton of fun. But again, starting something with no money helped to teach me that, my passion is people, finding people, having fun, building meaning, making money. I discovered that when I was 12. So my advice is find something, and someone goes, how can I find an idea? You know what you can do? You can put into ChatGPT, talk to it for 5 minutes on a voice dictation and say, my name is so-and-so. Here are the things I've always loved to do in life. I love to play rugby. I've loved trading baseball cards. It doesn't matter what it is. Give it your ideas and say, please help me with 5 ideas of something I can look at starting today with no money. It will give you inspiration. It will give you things that you can get out and start today.
How did you discover what you're good at? Because sometimes people don't know they're bad at something. That's the other thing.
So I love marketing. I love branding. And for me, it was getting out there at a young age and just trying things. So the car wash. When I got out there and did this big sign, my sign was bigger than the neighbor's car wash sign. I brought 2 girls who were friends of mine in the neighborhood to stand out with signs with me. How do we outmarket the kid next door? When I started 1-800-GOT-JUNK, we were the Rubbish Boys. Our phone number was 738-JUNK. So I painted it on the side of the truck, and I'm like, people need to see this.
Okay, at this point we understand one of the most valuable lessons that this guy can teach us, and is you can start even if you have no money. This guy started a business at 12 years old, and he had no money, bro. You can start a business with no money. You don't need money to start a business. So, bro, you just need to start. Just start, bro.
So I parked it at a high-profile intersection in a busy area of town. We still do that today, except we have 3,000 trucks.
Wow.
Big mobile billboards.
We've just been talking about making your first $1,000.
Hey you, it's me
Oh,
again.
damn.
Are you still
Another
wondering
rat.
how much it will cost you to start up a company in the UAE? Well,
No problem.
And this is where most people get stuck. You say you need to start when you have time, money, or the perfect idea, and you don't. The truth is, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be started. That's why I love Build Your Store.
Doesn't need to be perfect. Just need to be started, bro. Just start. That's the most valuable lesson you can learn today. Start. Start fighting for your dreams. Start your business. Start playing that
all
sport.
those
Just
excuses.
start.
It just needs to be started. That's why I love Build Your Store. It removes all those excuses. You can literally build a Shopify store in just under 2 minutes, completely for free. Just pick your niche, follow a few simple steps, and you've got a store ready to go. The AI does the heavy lifting. It finds winning products, builds optimized pages, and sets it all up to sell. No coding, no design skills, no upfront costs. It's perfect for anyone who wants to start small, test an idea, sell a product, or build an extra income stream. That's why I'm telling you about it. It's not just that they pay us to do it. I know it's good for you, and we use the money they give us to fund people's dreams. When the store is live, it can make sales 24/7, even when you're sleeping or working on your next idea. Click the link
Okay.
below to get your sales
I
24/7.
was wondering, metal suspension phone stand for up to until love it. Okay, interesting.
Even when you're sleeping or working on your next idea. Click the link below to get your free AI built store from Build Your Store. In less time than it takes you to make a drink, you could have your first online business ready to go.
The other thing I think
Point number
I
3.
have seen this play out for me.
It doesn't need to be sexy. Okay. Okay. It doesn't need to be sexy. Okay.
Many people. There was two young guys that came to us. They're twins, identical twins, and they said to me their dream was to start a cleaning business. They called them Macca twins, and instead of moaning about cleaning, they
Wait, I want to search for these guys. The Macro Twins? Macro Twins. MacroTwins.com. These two girls.
was to start a cleaning business. They called them Macca twins, and instead of
Macca Twins. Ah, okay. Twins. Okay. Oh! Oh, okay, I know these guys. Okay. I watched a video from Simon with these two guys, bro. Okay.
of moaning about cleaning, they kind of get excited about it. And they do this line, which is like, we clean places no one else wants to clean. And they go into different parts of the world, but London, for example, find a place that no one's cleaned.
Right.
It's really disgusting.
Yeah.
And they clean a bin in the cabin.
That's a very good marketing, bro. That's a very good marketing because the concept is very interesting. Nobody wants to clean that space, so I will clean it for free. For free. Very good marketing, bro.
It's not been cleaned in 10 years, and they clean it. And they've had videos go massively viral, and that's meant they get a lot of bookings for their cleaning business.
Yeah.
The thing I take away from it is like, and I see this in your business too, your business does not sound sexy. You were 18 years old when you started it. You did it really just to make a bit of money to pay for university. Yeah. These unsexy businesses. Mm-hmm. This is I want people to realize unsexy businesses are really quite sexy.
You can make them sexy, just like those twins.
Yeah.
They've got these viral videos. They're connecting with the world. You can make it sexy.
Yeah.
What's sexy about 1-800-GOT-JUNK is the marketing, the branding, the getting on Ellen and CNN and Wall Street Journal, New York Times.
Or being enthusiastic about something that no one else is enthusiastic about. Again, if I was building a business in 2026, I'd look in those niches. There's people, a friend of mine in Hong Kong who just bought a laundrette, and she's turned it into like a really cool cafe and sell plants, and you do laundry. She was telling me that there's people actually going to that laundrette to wash their clothes that have a washing machine at home. You know, like you think laundrette.
They want the experience.
You see, you take a boring business and you give it that kind of excitement. I think it's important for people to think about not being the bottleneck in their business. And have you experienced in that? Important for people.
Point number 4. Identify strengths and enjoy the journey. Strength and enjoy the journey. Okay, perfect.
To think about not being the bottleneck in their business. And have you experienced in that?
Yeah, so I was the bottleneck when we hit about 100 million in revenue. And I realized, and my people helped me realize, I was not the right leader to take it further. My own people were saying, Brian, you're not the CEO that we need you to be.
Interesting.
So I went out there and tried to find one. I found an ex-Starbucks executive who had 30,000 people in their employ. Brought this person in, and in 14 months, we almost bankrupted the company together.
Wow.
And what went wrong is I didn't have the right person for me. So when a founder goes out and finds someone to help them, there needs to be this yin and yang alignment that is just so good that together two heads are better than one. So got rid of that person. And then found Eric Church, who's been with me for 13, 14 years, and it's been incredible. So what I did is I took a sheet of paper, and on one side I drew all the things, I wrote down all the things in business that I love to do and that I'm good at. On the other side, what are all the things in business?
Okay, I will do that. I will do that because it's very important. Okay, I notice right now that it's very important and it's a very good strategy, bro. It's a very good strategy. So I will do that. I will write all the things that I'm good at and that I love, and also in the other side I will write all the things that I don't like or I'm not good at.
Needs that I can't give it do and that I'm good at. On the other side, what are all the things the business needs that I can't give it that I'm not good at?
Okay. Right. The things.
On the other side, what are all the things the business needs?
All the things the business needs.
That I can't give it, that I'm not good at, in fact, I don't like to do. I said I need someone on that side. And that's where I started sharing that list of all the things I'm bad at that I don't like to do with other potential COOs.
That's
Chief
a very
Operating
good
Officer.
strategy,
And I found
bro.
Eric, and he goes,
I
I'm
will
not just
try
saying
that.
this, but everything on this list I love to do and I'm great at, and the stuff on your side, I actually don't ever want to even learn. So we found this fit, and it's been 13, 14 years.
The task for tomorrow stream is to show you my shit with all the things that I love to do and I'm good at. And on the other side, all the things that I don't like to do and I'm not good at. And that the business needs.
Of awesomeness. We've gone from $100 million to $700 million. I've been able to live my exciting marketing idea thinking energy because of the rigor and discipline and support that I get from Eric.
What, again, I noticed sitting with you, which I'd love the audience to have. How old are you?
I'm 55.
If you focus on the things you love to do and you get good at them, they give you energy. I see a lot of people that are tired at 55 because they've spent their whole life doing the things that don't give them energy. So you get excited about ideas, right? You get excited about seeing the idea get implemented in the world and the effect that it can have. To some people, that would be draining. So I think people have to know what gives them energy and what takes them energy. And people don't spend enough time actually thinking about that.
So when you know your why, the business just like goes crazy. Like we've made more money than I could ever imagine, could ever need, could ever want. And it happened once I really understood my why of imagine big possibilities. So if I can imagine big possibilities and share them with other entrepreneurs outside of our business or franchise owners in it, that's where I get excited. So if I think the thought to share with your audience from me, how do you understand what makes you enjoy the journey? Don't think about the jets and the big houses and whatever you want if that's important to you. Think about what do you love about the journey of everyday life.
It's another thing.
Okay, what I love from this journey. I love to create videos. I love when not just post the videos, but also creating the videos. I really love to create the videos. I enjoy that. I really like that because I was like doing crazy things with Lego pieces or with something, I don't know, and other times I'm just dancing or doing something to create B-rolls or something like that. So what I really enjoy is to create the videos. Other times I fell and I get this scar right here, but I really enjoy that. I enjoy falling, I enjoy learning, I enjoy trying again and again and again. That's what I really enjoy, bro. So, hello, bro. What's up? So, I really enjoy that part. Creating videos, creating content, making videos, because I take shots about different things, bro. Like sleeping, like writing something in my journal or things like that, and I really enjoy that. Taking that shots, and then I also really like editing. That is, I'm really tired right now, but because I was editing a video, the one I post today, but I really enjoy that part also. I also enjoyed that part. It's very interesting, but at some point I feel, oh, bro, what I'm doing? I don't want to edit this video. I just want to post the video, but it's part of the journey, bro. What I'm trying to say is that it's part of the journey. And I enjoy that, even when it's difficult. But I really enjoyed that part.
I'm taking from this chat today, and again,
Take risks and embrace your failure. Okay, bro. Point number 5. Okay.
take this home for yourself, which is take risk. I think risk isn't a negative word. I think it's a word that gives you a chance to learn. Mm-hmm. You've got it in your title. How failure can be your key to
Okay,
success.
but
I think it's so important.
Here is a very important thing, and that I learned from Simon's book. What's your dream, bro? I really recommend you that book. You can learn a lot from that book. And one of the things that Simon said was, you need to take risks, but you need to find a way to make that risk you need to find another way to take that risk, but that is not very riskful or something like that. I don't remember what he really said in that part, but you need to take risk. Right now I'm taking a risk. The risk to fight for my dreams for an entire year. And that's a risk, bro. Even if all the people said, what's the risk right now? You are at home, you are creating videos, you are not taking risks. I'm taking a risk right now. Because right now I'm not doing money. I don't making money, bro. Right now I have no money. I'm at the scratch, bro. So I'm not making money right now, bro. And that's a risk because I can spend all the entire year here in this chair making streams that nobody watch, and I might waste an entire year. But in the other side, probably I take this risk, but really worth, bro, because who knows, probably a year from now, right now, in the future, my future self already have a $1 million, bro. He had probably in the future, speaking the future, he have $1 million, and I just need to take that risk, bro. Probably I will watch this video in the future and I will write a message for myself and tell me, please take that risk, bro. You need to imagine yourself 10 years in the future. What would you say to your younger self right now or in the future? Imagine you are in the future and you have $1 million. Okay, no, that's not working because you don't have $1 million, so you can give yourself an advice to make $1 million. But right now, you can give yourself an advice to start making. I can give myself an advice to start making $1 million right now because I'm trying to make $1 million. So my advice for my younger self, my 12 years old, the advice for that 12 years old guy is, please start your YouTube channel earlier, bro, because I only have 57 subscribers. That's my advice for my younger self, for my 12 years old self. Please start your YouTube channel earlier, bro. That would be my advice, but okay, I started my YouTube channel this year, bro, so no way, there's no way back to the past, but I can write the future right now, and I'm learning from this guy named Simon Swift, and also from this guy that I don't remember his name, sorry, I'm so sorry, but I'm learning because they already made $1 million, bro.
That people learn to enjoy failure and almost see it as a great story to tell, right? You can't write a book unless you've got some failure in you. Yeah. Most learning comes from failure, right? Yeah. So I think I kind of wish it on people, which I don't want anyone to fail, but I kind of want people to take the risk to fail. A lot of people listening will be scared to take a risk, right? Because if they're in the middle class trap, maybe they've got an okay job, they've got an idea, they're scared to do it. There's downside for them. How do you mitigate risk?
I'll give you a specific real life example of how I tackle failure.
I already remember
for me,
that.
risk, I say.
What Simon wrote in his book was you need to mitigate the risk. You need to take risk, but you also need to mitigate that risk, bro. You need to find a way to mitigate that risk, bro. That's what Simon said in his book. I think that he said that, but in other words, but I don't remember his exact words right now. But he said something like that.
So for me, risk, I say,
and the question is, how I'm mitigating this risk, bro? Because I'm taking a very huge risk right now. So what I'm doing to mitigate that risk? And I think that I'm learning, bro, learning. If I continue learning, I'm mitigating that risk because I'm not just sitting in this chair, going live playing video games. I'm learning, bro. And that's the most important thing. I'm learning, I continue learning. That's how I'm mitigating that risk, bro. Because I'm learning, I'm still learning. Even if I don't make $1 million a year from now, I will have learned a lot, bro. A lot. Because if I go live every single day, and I continue learning every single day, a year from now, I will know a lot, bro. I will have a lot of knowledge, bro.
Risk. I have to take chances to continue to live my why and enjoy my life. Not taking stupid risks, stupid financial risks, or anything that's going to harm people, but I'm still trying things outside my comfort zone and putting myself out there. So 20 years ago, I got asked to audition for the first season of Dragon's Den. It starts in the UK, BBC does incredible things with it, Canada then brings it, and I got asked to audition. I was like, wow, this is really cool. I'm flattered. I failed miserably. They didn't like me. They said, no, this isn't going to work out. And I asked, what can I learn from this situation? The show started to take off, started to grow. 10 years later, they said, we're looking for a new dragon. We think you could be it. And I'm like, okay. They come into my office, they film me, invest all this time. I invest time. I'm like, okay, I got it this time. Nope, sorry, you're not the right fit. And I'm discouraged. And I'm like, what is this all about? But every time I fail, I take out a sheet of paper and I say, what can I learn from this failure? Why has it been 2 times now that I haven't gotten the dragon spot? In reflection, I looked back. If I got it that first time, it would have killed my business because I didn't have time to spend on 2 things. The second time, I was going through absolute crisis in my business and couldn't have taken a moment to focus on that. So the opportunity came up again years later. 3 years ago, I heard there was going to be another audition for a new dragon. And I'm like, I've done it twice. I'm going to do 3 times. Like, I'll keep doing it because I want to use that as a platform to share my passion for choose the most amazing career set you could ever find, being an entrepreneur. I get to the studio, there's 19 other potential dragons. And there were some really famous Canadians in that room. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And I thought, okay, what's my why? Why am I here? Do I see this and feel it? And I just channeled my energy into, if this is important to me and I really want it, go in and be my awesome self. And if they like me, great. If they don't, they don't. And I got it.
Nice.
And it has been so much fun and impactful. But we fail. And that's okay. It's more than okay. Most people would not have tried an audition the second time.
You've got to fail because you don't know when you're going to catch the wave, do you? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know when that wave's going to actually hit. So you've got to keep surfing.
Failure is preparation.
Brian, thanks for giving us time
need
today.
to fail in
Guys, I
order
really
to
recommend you
learn,
go buy this
bro.
book. We'll put the link down below. If you're interested
Okay,
in
I remember right now that today I read a quote from Alex Hormozi that said something that, or was from Dan Martel. I don't remember, but the quote says something like, winners lose more than losers, bro. Winners lose more than losers, bro. So that's okay. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was from Alex Hormozi or from Dan Martel, but that quote was very powerful, bro. Because losers just stop. Okay, I failed. Okay, I will stop, bro. But winners continue losing until they finally win, bro. Until they finally win. So winners lose more than losers, bro. So I'm a winner and I'm losing, bro. So I'm also a loser, bro. So I'm really a winner or am I a loser? Yo, I'm not sure, bro. Okay.
Let's help you. There's a step-by-step insight here and how to make it all happen. It's inspirational, and I think a lot of people can learn from it. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. I hope your audience is challenged to get out there and write down where you're going to fail and go fail today.
Let us know down below. What are you going to start? Right? Let us know where you're going to start. Let's go.
Obtener una cotización de embarque se ha vuelto mucho más fácil.
Damn, bro! Another rat! No! Okay, video already.
Alex has just stepped me through.
Okay, wow, an interesting video. Okay, with Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi's blueprint to making money blew my mind, bro. Okay, sounds interesting. Let's watch this video, bro.
His
I also
blueprint
can
to make
learn
any business work and make
lot
you a
from-
$1 million business. From opening gyms to launching software startups, Alex knows how to make any business worth $1 million. So Alex, what are we going to learn today from you?
So we're gonna go through 9 steps. Number 1 is figuring
9
out
steps.
who you are. Number 2, who to sell to. Number 3 is what to sell them. 4, gotta get them to buy. Number 5, how many times. So this is getting them to buy more times. Number 6, who's gonna help you do that even more. Number 7 is you're gonna keep your advantage because now you're starting to get ahead, and then stick with it because this is usually when it's like, okay, I feel like business is starting to get boring. And then you just keep getting better and you never stop. And so those are 9 steps to building a $1 million business as I've gone through in my life and I try to translate for my audience.
The
So tell
blueprint
us how
with Simon
people figure out who
Square.
they are. What was the process that you went through, and what's the process people need to go through?
So I think there's a lot of confusion around identity, and I think a lot of it is around like I want to have these traits, or like I wish I were more charismatic. I wish I were more patient, and I don't think people translate them into the behaviors that create the trait. And so the traits themselves are just bundled terms. So let's say someone's charismatic. They're like, I want to be charismatic. All right. Well, if I look at somebody and say, cool, be charismatic, someone would just stare back like, how, right?
All you need to do is smile. Easy.
No, but and so what's interesting is that you've already went to start translating.
Point
it.
number 1, who you are. You need to know who you are, bro. And I also, okay, my next video will be about who am I, bro? Who am I, bro? That's I don't know if that will be the title for my next video, but that video is about who am I. It's a film. I will try to make a film like 12 minutes explaining who am I. That's my next video. Probably I will try to upload that video for the next week, bro. But right now I know who am I. Who am I, bro? Who am I?
Charisma, patience, a lot of these things are what I call bundled terms. And so they're single words that actually have series of behaviors underneath them that when we see them in the wild, we then describe that person as charismatic. So they nod up and down when you talk, right? They repeat back what you say at the end of whenever you take a pause during breathing.
They do.
They smile. They increase the volume of when they talk. And they have different tonalities, as in like they go up and then they go down, they speed up, they emphasize words. And so it's basically looking at all of these micro behaviors. And if you do all of these things, they shake hands firmly, they make eye contact. And so all of these things, then it's like, oh, so I don't need to try and be charismatic. I just need to nod when people are talking. I need to repeat back to them what they just said. I need to smile when they walk in the room. I need to be able to enunciate and speak with volume and not just be monotone. I need to go up and down and speed up and slow down when it's important. I need to shake people's hands with confidence. I need to make eye contact. If I do those things, other people will describe me as charismatic. And so when I look at the version of who I would like to be, I say, what are the traits that I think of? And then what are the behaviors that associate with those traits? And then that way it makes something that seems unattainable, like, man, I wish I were more X. It's like, well, you can be that if you just think, what must occur in order for someone to describe someone as this thing? And so that's been honestly one of the big things that like it really changed my life, because a lot of these things feel like out of your control. It's like, I wish. But it's just a lot of times we just break skill set. It's the same thing when we're teaching someone. If I said, hey, build a company, you can go do that because that would be like a big bundled thing. Hey, can you just go build a company? Sure, I can. Yeah. Now, leveled down one, it's like, okay, so do you know how to advertise? Do you know how to sell? Do you know how to create a product or a service? Do you know how to hire people? It's like all of those are bundled skills underneath. And you can basically derive everything all the way down to turn on the computer, turn on Internet Explorer, type in a website. And so at every level, whenever someone gets confused about what to do, it's like, just break it down. And that's fundamentally how we like to train teams. But also it started with me, which is like, what do I need to do? And I think this is something that I'm going to be hitting on really hard. Doing is being. And so have you ever heard the saying, be, do, have? You remember this?
Is
I hate it. Because people are like, you have to become this type of person to do this type of stuff to have this thing. But if the doing creates the having, then we don't need to worry about having, because doing is the actual thing we control. And if we describe someone only by the behaviors they do, then being also happens as a result of doing, which means it's just do. So Nike's always had it right.
It's true though, yeah.
Right.
Like I definitely wasn't charismatic when I was younger, and I think this also people are almost embarrassed to call themselves a certain label, but you can train to be anything.
Yeah.
This is my thing about entrepreneurship, that kind of like anyone can be an entrepreneur.
Sure.
And people get really annoyed with me when I say that.
Oh,
Oh,
totally.
it's tough. You know, you got to worry about cash flow. Well,
Yeah,
if you can't get a good accountant, I think it's interesting because people always have a reason why it's such a bloody hard thing to do, and if you break it down like this, it's not.
Right.
But how do people? This thing of who you are, though, is it a genetics thing though as well? Like maybe some people just can't be charismatic. Maybe they can't smile. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's because I think. My wife is, and she never listens to this stuff, so I can say this. I wouldn't
In
describe
my
her.
case, people always tell me that I'm very serious. Am I serious, bro? Okay, let's continue.
As charismatic. I describe her as beautiful and intelligent.
Sure.
But she doesn't really bother shaking hands for her. It's just who she is.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
So do you think this is a personality thing here, or anyone can learn to be charismatic? That's the end of it, or is it going to be feeling a bit false? For
No,
some
I think
people?
100% of people can learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a fundamental belief about the world, which is all things are trainable. It's just that not all things are worth training.
You got to be motivated to turn that.
I think about it from return on resources. So it's like, even if like I think I believe someone genuinely with Down syndrome could learn to become, or at least rather learn to do brain surgery. Would the amount of resources required in order to teach that person be a good use of resources? Probably not. If intelligence is rate of learning, then it's the rate of behavior change. Like how quickly can we get someone to change behavior? At least for me, that's how I define intelligence. And so if I were to train my team and say, hey, do this thing, and the next time they walk in, they do that new thing under the same conditions, they've learned quickly. They're a more intelligent person. And so I think it's simply that the rate of learning differs between people, but all people are trainable. That's how we learn everything.
Plus, what you're saying, if you reverse it, if you train yourself, then it's not about us deciding the resource you get.
Right.
It's about you deciding the effort you make, isn't it?
Right.
So
Right now,
concluding
I'm
this
the
bit,
most
who
serious
you
guy
are is
in
who
the
you are,
world.
what you want to be. So concluding this bit,
Yeah.
I mean, who you are is what you want to be, is
Yeah.
it? So that goes back to modelling yourself and perhaps the people you admire or the people you have the life you want,
Sure.
and then go learn what they know.
And do what they do. And I think that's, and I'll actually give a one that I think is helpful for a lot of people is like, it's making sure that we're doing the things that they did at that stage. And so, if you want to become a billionaire, it doesn't mean go fly on private jets because billionaires fly on private jets. If you want to become tall, it doesn't mean you go play basketball. And so it's conflating what was the cause, what was the effect, right? And so we want to not model where people are today and how they act today, but we want to model the rise. We want to model what they did at the beginning. And so one of the tough parts about that is usually when you're in the grind, like one of my biggest regrets in the world is that I have 0 sales that I had recorded when I was in person. And I have over 4,000 one-on-one sales that I had done. And all the stuff I learned there, I never had any recordings. And so it's like, because I didn't think, I'm going to later someday in the future have a YouTube channel and I'm going to be teaching this stuff. I was like just trying to sell memberships.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? And so I say that because I try and remember to the best of my ability, and I do that through teaching, our teams and whatnot, like, hey, do this and do this. And so we do our best to.
That's the reason why I'm recording everything. And when I mean everything, bro. I'm recording. Okay, I'm not recording if I go to the bathroom, but I'm recording everything else, bro. Everything else, I'm recording everything else. Probably today I will record me sleeping, just sleeping, bro. Probably that would be helpful in the future. Probably not now, but probably in the future I will need to be sleeping at this point of time, 2026. I need to have a video about that. Probably, I don't know, but that's the reason why I'm recording everything, bro.
Remind everyone who's coming up, like, this is what
I
I was
know
doing.
that
Don't look at what I'm doing
gonna
now.
be
Look what I was doing
successful.
then.
I think the doing thing's so powerful because that's how also you remember. You can hear someone tell you how to do something. You can listen to this video, but if you don't go out and apply it, you probably won't remember it.
Yeah, nothing will happen. That's the guarantee.
So that's a good place to start. You can be anything. Maybe decide what you want to be. I mean, a lot of people in sales, for example, say, "Oh, you need to be an extrovert to do sales." I'm like, my biggest salesperson in my last company was my accountant. No one more introverted. No, and do you know what? Because she was introverted, she was slightly more trusted.
Yeah.
Because she would only say things that people, like,
Yeah.
she'd go to a meeting with other CFOs and talk about how brilliant our company was.
Yeah.
Those CFOs who were also introverted would go back to the office, talk to the CEO and say,
Yeah.
you should get Simon's company in because I just heard from the CFO what they're doing there.
Yeah.
You know, best sales technique ever. But she didn't think she was a salesperson.
Yeah.
either. If I'd interviewed her and said, welcome to the company, you're going to be our number one salesperson, she would never even started.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all about using your personality traits to also be applied, right? What next?
So the second one is like, okay, so you have to acquire enough of these traits, bundled terms, to just take action. So if I had to do what's the TLDR of the last page, which is do something. That's it. Like if all of this was around doing, it's do something, because currently nothing is happening in your life. And so in order for something to change, you have to do something. Now, once you decide, okay, I'm going to take action, then it's like, okay, who am I selling to? This is one that people get really confused about. And I think people want to start with, what do I sell? Like 2 and 3, what to sell, are very much interrelated, right? Because
But you need to
who you
know
sell to
your
is going to
avatar,
determine
bro.
what.
You need to know your avatar. And one of the most important is you can do right now. If you want to start a business, is great. Who is your avatar? Who are you selling to, bro? You need to know who your avatar is. I already write who my avatar is, who I'm creating videos for whom, bro, and I already write that. I'm creating videos for this type of person that have this age, that have this job, that whatever. You need to define your avatar, and you can then, once you define your avatar in your mind, then you need to write it. You need to write who you are selling for, or for whom you are creating videos. For whom you are creating videos, bro. I'm creating videos for this specific audience, for this specific type of person. For whom, bro?
You're going to sell, right? If I decide that airline pilots are going to be the people that I feel like selling, then I can be like, oh, well, I have these, this insurance thing that does for houses. It's like, I don't know if that's really the right match for that particular thing. And so sometimes you come in with some past experience. And so I like to, I know I'm going out of order, but hopefully it'll work out in the end. But I think there's 3 P's around what people figure out. And I tend to talk more about services than products. And I do that because, at least in the US, 78% of businesses are services.
Yep. It's a great way to start as well. Service is a very easy business to
Right.
start.
At the end of the day, you're just doing something that other people don't want to do for money, right? And so pain, profession, and then passion. And so almost all businesses can get derived from one of these 3 things.
To sell, point number 3, what to sell. Okay, right now, how can I apply that? Okay, I already write my avatar, but my plan for the future is to launch a Choose brand. So, if I want to launch a Choose brand, I already know my avatar for speaking about my marketing, my marketing company. But now, if I want to launch a Choose brand, I need to write who I'm selling for whom, bro. So that's very important. I need to write an avatar for that, bro. How can I apply that, bro? How I can apply this concept, bro, to that? Probably. Okay, I'm not sure right now because this is just an idea. For the future, I want to launch a Choose brand, but right now I need to think about that, bro.
Things, which is like you had some painful experience you overcame. And so that's, a mom who helps her kids pack lunches who have food allergies. It's like, if you figured out how to overcome that, then you can help other people do it too. If you overcame some sort of depression thing, it's like you can help other people do that. If you didn't know how to advertise your biggest business and then you figured out how to do Google pay-per-click, it's like, that's something it's a pain. Pain is, relative, but
Time saving. If you can save people time, is
Oh, yeah.
another way of translating it.
Oh, totally. And so then the second one is profession. So a lot of people do have jobs but want to start a business. And so whatever you do in a company fundamentally is something that other companies probably want. And so you can always fractionalize whatever your professional skill is between multiple companies. And so that's just taking a skill that you already have in the workplace and just selling it to other people. And then passion is like, okay, well, I'm really interested in model cars. Okay, well, can you build a business around model cars? Absolutely. You could build a subscription around building them. You could build the actual products around them. You could make a channel
Okay,
about
paint
painting
profession,
model cars. There's a zillion things that you could do there. But in each of these, it's usually something you overcame, some sort of professional skill that you learned, or some passion.
Okay.
And so that usually goes into what to sell.
Wait
The most common
a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, perfect.
person to sell to is someone like you. So if you look at like Y Combinator and A16Z, some of the best venture startup investors, one of the requirements that they often have is what they call living with the problem. And so they want people who've had a lot of surface area, a lot of exposure, many repetitions over years with many different types of solutions and why they don't work. And so on one hand, sure, you can be like, oh, I'm gonna think of this beautiful idea, but most of the times it's like, what do I hate? What bothers me? Because then you don't have to do all this market research to figure out like, how do these people talk? Like what are their innate desires? You just say like, well, what do I want? And it's a much faster path. And I think that's where this is where a lot of people end up starting in terms of who to sell to. They sell to people like that. And
You don't do much research in the market when you know exactly your own problem. And interestingly, even at the top level, like Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook to solve his own awkward problem of being socially awkward.
Yeah.
He wanted to meet girls, he wanted to be liked, he wanted friends, but he found it socially awkward to go out.
Yeah.
So he built a platform to solve his own problem. Turns out a lot of people have that problem. So I think this like you thing is a really easy way to sell. I guess passion and purpose, do you differentiate the two?
No, not to say that it's not true. I usually use those 3 Ps.
Because I think if people, I believe in sales. There's 3 steps, right? Which is like people do it the wrong way around normally. But the first step is, do you like the person? Does the person like you?
Okay.
The relationship stuff. I don't know if people spend enough time doing that. Second is, do people need what you're selling?
Sure.
A lot of people spend a lot of time selling something they don't need, right?
Okay.
And then the third step, of course, is like pricing and all that sort of stuff. But I think a lot of the time, like I took 9 years to get to Apple as a client.
Okay.
9 years.
Yeah.
But it's because I had a passion and a purpose to build a company. I wanted to build something that was respected. And Apple being a client would help my company be respected. I think that purpose really helps you get through in the end on sales.
Oh yeah.
When you have purpose, bro, you have a reason to continue. Because if you don't have purpose and you only have passion, probably you love that, but if someone says no to you, probably you are okay. But when you have purpose, you already know what you need to do, and you have a reason to do that. So you will continue fighting. You need to continue. Okay, I want to sell this to this guy because I need to be this specific person that buy my stuff, and that's what I already do, bro. I create business proposals for other business owners. I use a Miro board. Let me show you. And I create a whole funnel for other business owners. And even if they say, okay, I already have that, I say to them, okay. It's fine if you already implement that, but this is for free. I just want to try to help you. And I try, and then they finally, okay, I want to call with you. 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. Let me show you. Okay. I make business proposal like this one, bro. And then I record a video and send that business proposal to other business owner. And I explain what they can do and how they can do it. And even if they say, okay, but I don't have money, I say it's for free. And then if I have no response from them, I sent another video explaining, okay, I hope my video was helpful for you. I have another video that probably can help you with this specific problem in your business. And I write a lot of proposals like this one for business owners. And was exhausting, bro. But I try. And a lot of times people say, no, I don't want what you are selling. Sorry, no. But other times you need to try with one person, then another, in order to find the right person. And if you have purpose, you have a reason to continue. Even if the people say no to you. Even if the people say that your dream is impossible. Even if you feel like you are tired, you are exhausted. Like me. I'm tired and exhausted. But I have purpose. And that's the reason why I go live even if I'm tired, bro. Even if the only thing that I want is sleep, bro. Right now I want to sleep. But I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's my why, bro. I have purpose, bro. So I have passion, but also I have purpose. But because if I only have passion, probably I won't do this. I only do this if I feel good right now, if I don't feel tired, if I feel with a lot of energy. Probably that's the only way in which I will do this stream. But I have purpose right now. So even if I'm tired, I'm doing this stream. Even if I don't want to do this stream. Even if I have a passion for this, for creating content, for going live, sometimes I don't want to go live, but I have purpose. And I promise myself, okay, I'm going to go live even if I'm tired.
And so, this is kind of like the cycle of figuring it out. And then once you're like, okay, well, I get it, pain, profession, passion, but underneath of those things, like what really is it? And so typically you can either sell products, so that's physical stuff, right? Tangible things you can put in someone's hand. There's services, which is you just do stuff for other people, which is fundamentally services are wrapped to time. And there's two types of time. One is the time to learn the skill, and the other is the time to do the skill. So underneath it's some sort of information advantage that you have, and then the actual doing and execution. And so those are fun. Like services can be as simple as I know how to mow my lawn. I just don't want to.
Learn the skill.
And so those are fun. Some sort of information advantage that you have, and then the actual doing and execution. And so those are fun. Like services can be as simple as I know how to mow my lawn. I just don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, it could be, hey, I know how to code, and I can code this, site a certain way. It's like, okay, not only do I not want to take the time to do it, to learn it, I also don't want to take the time to do it. Mm-hmm. And so when you're thinking about products or services, those are the two kind of buckets as I think about them. And then you have SaaS or software. You've got software as a service. You've got apps, things like that. You have something that I like to go into, which is just access. You've got risk. You've got money. And so these are all things that people can buy and sell. Banks, buy and sell money. Insurance, buy and sell risk. Access, if you think real estate, there's physical access, there's digital access. SaaS is basically these things just put in a digital format. And so this gives you kind of like a jump start of like, well, how do I take format? And so access. SaaS is basically these things just put in a digital format. And so this gives you kind of like a jump start of like, well, how do I take my passion? It's like, okay, well, pick one of these ways. It's like you could sell the model cars. You could build the cars for people and then sell them. You could have SaaS that helps people design their own cars. You could have events where you bring people together and they can show off their cars and race them and whatever. And then you can charge for for access to that, or media access. Like if you have, like for me, like this would be like education that still kind of fit inside of here. It's like access to some sort of media. Risk, you could insure people's collections around their cars if they have really valuable car collections, model cars. And then money is, hey, maybe people need lending for this stuff. Who knows? And so fundamentally, like that's how I think through what am I going to sell?
Okay.
I think as well, it's very interesting around the service side because in my agency business, for example, I was selling the services, someone else's design ability, their time to someone. I wasn't even doing the service. Yeah. But I helped the person. The designers didn't like to sell. They're shy. They want to sit at their computer creating, right? So I didn't even have the skill to do the design, but I was able to sell the service. I think this list is brilliant. So people have who to sell to and what you're going to sell are interlinked. Yeah. So you've decided what you're going to do here.
I'm going to add one thing to this because I think this will be helpful for people who are starting out. And so I talk about this a ton in my stuff, but in my opinion, one of the things that matters a ton is pricing, right? And so it's a lot easier to sell 100 people a $10,000 thing than it is to sell 10,000 people a $100 thing. There's just so much more distribution that you need to get. And so for me, I look at, do the people that I want to sell my thing have the money for my thing? And if everybody's broke in this particular market, then I might consider, well, is there anything else I know how to do, or anything else I'm passionate about, or anything else that I have a professional skill around? So the first thing is money. The second thing is how easy are these people to find? Like, is it really hard to find this, this particular subset of people? Or can I find them pretty easily? Are there directories, are there associations with them? If so, then it's easy for me to reach out or show up at those conferences or whatever. The next thing is I'd rather have the market be growing. Like if I'm about to pick what business I'm going to get into, I'd rather go into one where there's more demand than there is supply, right? Like I'd rather just have the tailwind rather than a headwind. One of my friends had a business that sold to newspapers, and brilliant guy. And basically he was trying to transition them from print ads to give them a second ad product that was digital. So he's like, he could convert all of their print ads into digital ads onto their website. And so it makes sense. It's like, it's avant-garde. It's like, hey, you just have another product you can now sell. You don't have to do anything. You just make more money. Like, it's a good offer. The problem is that newspapers, at least in the US, were shrinking by 25% per annum every year, compounding the wrong direction, 25% a year. And so no, if he had to gain 25% market share every year just to keep his company the same size, because people were just going out of business.
Even though it's in the digital space, which is the growing part.
Right.
But they didn't have any money to pay for that service.
Yeah. And then the final one is, if I had to pick between two things, I'd rather have one where people are in pain. And so
you're very good at drawing.
That's right. Is you want searing hot pain whenever you can. And when I say pain, it doesn't necessarily mean like people are like, oh my God, like, I've got cancer, I'm going to die. But just the annoyances of taking out the trash every day. It's like, it's just the problems or things that people would rather not do. And again, it's going to be things they'd rather not learn or just things they'd rather not do. And those are the easiest things. Now, when you combine these things together is when you can charge a lot more. Like if it's just like a lot of times when you start out like very, very early days, you probably don't know anything that other people don't know. I'm just being real, right? And so a lot of the earliest businesses you start are what we'd probably consider blue collar businesses. So it's like it's cleaning, it's lawn care, it's painting. These are not you can learn how to do it in a weekend, but that's okay. Because business takes a really long time to learn. And so it's like, okay, well, at least I'll just have something simple that I can do here. And then I can learn all the other skills around business by practicing it. And so these are kind of the four characteristics of if I'm going to get into a market, I want to make sure that they've got the money, they're easy to find, it's growing, and they're in pain.
Okay. Money. Easy to find.
If I'm going to get into a market, I want to make sure that they've got the money, they're easy to find, it's growing, and they're in pain.
I hope you're writing this down, folks. Because I wish I'd done this when I was younger. I mean, I built a service business. We were talking about it off camera.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're selling so hard to a market that doesn't have enough money.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much harder. It's, anyone's going to fail at sales if you put yourself in a place where the people don't have enough pain. They've got too many choices. You've got to have that pain to create the closing situation on selling.
And this is actually, I think this will be really relevant for your history with the creative agency. So there's this story that I really like a lot where a father gives his son an old car. You might have heard this one.
Nope.
But father gives his son an old car and he says, if you want, you can sell it and then you can take the money and, buy yourself something else. And so he says, why don't you go down to the pawn shop and see what they'll give you. And so kid comes back and he looks a little bit down and he's like, what's up? He's like, oh, they said they'd give me $2,500. He's like, all right, well, go to the dealership, see if you can trade it in there for something else. So he goes there, comes back and said, well, hey, they'll give me $5,000. He's like, okay, that's an improvement.
You need to be
and
in
he says,
the
hey, why
right
don't you go down to
place,
the old collectibles auction house, see what
Surrounded
they'll
by
do.
the right
And so the
people.
kid goes there and he comes back and he's jumped for joy. He's like, Dad, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. He's like, they say this is an old collectible car and it's worth $100,000. And he's like, the biggest lesson here is that sometimes it's the exact same thing, but who you sell to changes everything. And so within the services that you have, if Simon had gone back and sold to really small businesses, the like branding and creative and logo design and things like that.
Okay, who you sell? Changes. Probably this will be very helpful in the future when I launch my shoes brand. Probably I will launch a shoes brand. For now, it's just an idea for now. But probably in the future, I will use all these things to learn and create that shoes brand, or probably a microphones brand, or a pens brand, or I don't know, a books brand, or a toys brand. I don't know. Or probably I will continue selling a service, a marketing service. But it's very hard, bro. It's very hard, and that requires a lot of time, bro. Damn.
I would bet that the vast majority of those businesses couldn't appreciate what the service was and what the value of even branding is to begin with, because they'd be like, yeah, but how's this give me leads? And only a more advanced business can appreciate the upside of how much return on advertising, return on throughput you get by having kind of a brand halo effect. But you have to be of a certain size. And so if you had that skill set and then you were like, hey, Alex, Simon, I started my business, but no one wants to buy it. The first question we'd probably ask is, okay, well, are you good at your thing? And if you check the box, it's like, yeah, I think this guy's good. Well, who are you selling to? It's like, well, I'm just trying to sell to local lawn care services. It's like, well, that's not surprising to me that they wouldn't buy. But in that moment, you might think, oh, I suck at business. You were just selling to the wrong people. And I think that's why this is so important, is making sure who you sell to is one of the biggest levers that you can have on success. Can I tell another story?
Yeah, go on,
All right.
please.
So there was a CRO company that came through here that we were looking at to invest in, and it was great. So this guy was a really good coder, really good conversion rate optimization for websites, and he had a really, really cool business. But what was interesting is he and I had this conversation. He was like, oh yeah, when I work with $1 million a year e-commerce store and I raise their throughput by 10%, he's like, it only adds $100,000 to the business. He said, but when I go to an e-commerce store that does 100 million and I add 10%, it's the same amount of work. He's like, I add 10 million to the business. And so I can charge so much more money for the exact same work because in a very real way, it is more valuable. I did create more value, but it wasn't because of me, it was because of them. And so one of the biggest levers you can have on success is doing the same work for better people.
Yeah, these stories really resonate with me. And again, I wish I'd heard you speak 20 years ago. I remember when I first started the business, we were selling graphic designs. We go to someone, do you want a logo? Do you want a brand? And they pay a certain amount. And I managed to get quite good fees out of it because we were good. Yeah. But then one day I gave ideas to someone for free. Yeah. And they said, oh, I would have paid a lot for that. And what I realized is we shouldn't be selling the creative, we should be selling the concepts. The creative is almost like a commodity. So we started selling the ideas. And that's where we were getting millions of dollars
Okay.
from. And then the execution was like, well, lots of people could design it now. You just give them the brief.
Yeah.
You know,
go to Fiverr and they'll go make
exactly.
Yeah,
That got commoditized, which, by the way, is a little bit unfair because the actual creative part is really
for
tough.
sure. Yeah.
But people don't value it, and pain is in the idea.
Yeah.
So we go to CNN and give them an idea.
Yeah.
Well, that's valuable, but just the execution almost is secondary. So you can always take your existing service and just tweak it a bit, and you'll get a lot
Okay,
more. out
you
of it
can
if you do
sell
that.
the idea before.
All right, so
the
people
creation.
hopefully have made a list of who they're going to sell to and
You
what they're going
should
to sell.
sell.
What's next in this?
So now we got to get them to buy. So it's like, this is all great. You know, we've got some of these character traits. We decide to start taking action. We figure out who we want to sell to. We figure out
That's
what we want to
very
sell.
powerful.
So now,
That's very powerful. You should sell the ideas first and then the creative, bro. The execution, bro.
we're going to write, there we go. Simon's going to write with
I
the
need
good
to have a
handwriting.
purpose in this.
Yeah.
You see. This is it. I get to write one
And
line.
so now we got to get them to buy. And so I know, Simon, you've got your sales framework. The one that I've been teaching for years is Closer. So there are a million sales frameworks out there. This is just the one it's just consistently worked for me teaching, teams of guys out on the road, whatever. And for years, I actually just taught Close. And it was only probably in the last 4 or 5 years that I added the R on there.
Hope you trademark this.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Closer.
I hope everyone just learns how to sell. So the first thing is like, basically, okay, now that I'm in front of this who and I've got the what, how do I get them to give me money? And so this is basically a structure for a conversation, which is the first thing that we like to do is clarify why they're there. So the person, and the nice thing with any sales conversation is that there's always something that someone has done to indicate interest. Like you can't, unless someone is still listening to you, they opened the door, they clicked on the email, they responded with a comment, they DM'd you, they opted in on your site. Like someone has to take some initial move towards you in order to, they indicate interest. And so all you have to do then is just ask them why. So you say, hey, why'd you respond to my post? Hey, why did you DM me? Hey, why did you opt in on my site? And you're just asking them why. You're clarifying the problem, right? And so the second step, and this is all listening, right? You're just asking questions. So what brought you in today? What was the main reason? What are you struggling with right now? And then, and this is just a very small step, but super important, which is we label them with a problem. And so say, okay, I got it, John. So it sounds like you're here and you want to get here, and this has been the thing in your way. Does that sound about right? And this is also active listening. So for me, from a rapport building perspective, so it sounds like you're here and you want to get here, and this has been the thing in your way. Does that sound about right? And this is also active listening. So for me, from a rapport building perspective, if you say back to someone what they just said, they're like, oh, this guy's great. This guy's brilliant. Yeah.
Charismatic.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so we label them a problem, and we have, you're here, you want to get here, here's this gap. Okay. So then, and this is just out of just experience, we overview the past experiences that they've had. And I call this the pain cycle. And I didn't know why this worked. I just knew that it did work. And so the key point here is you say, hey, so what have you done so far that did work? And so the key point here is you say, hey, so what have you done so far to try and solve this? What have you done? And then they're going to start listing out, I did this. And then we just ask, okay, well, how'd that work for you? And then obviously they're talking to you, so it didn't work. So it's a loaded, you're just pushing on this pain.
Getting them to realize it.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
And so I have this fundamental belief that all salespeople are just motivational speakers, fundamentally, just on a one-on-one basis. And so all we're trying to do is motivate someone to take action. And so if you know that, or at least for me, if I think that's what it is, it just comes down to motivating someone, then what creates motivation?
Okay, at this point, all this information is very important if you are in a call with other business owner and you want to sell your service, or with other people and you want to sell a service to a person or a product. All this is important, and this is the information you should know before a call. That's the information you should know before a call, bro.
And so I spent a really long time trying to think through this, but it's actually the opposite is what creates motivation. Deprivation creates motivation. So if I'm starving, then I'm very motivated to eat.
Yep.
If I'm exhausted, I'm very motivated to sleep. And with that same concept, what we want to do is basically remind them, we want to deprive them, remind them of how deprived they are of this thing and how much pain they've gone through up to this point. And so we try and ask them what they did, ask them how that worked, ask them what they liked and what they didn't like about that thing. When they say the things that they liked, you associate that with, oh, I think if you like that, you're going to love this. And if they hated that, it's like, oh, that's great. And I understand why you associate that with, oh, it worked. Ask them what they liked and what they didn't like about that. We try and ask them what they did, ask them how that worked, ask them what they liked and what they didn't like about that thing. When they say the things that they liked, you associate that with, oh, I think if you like that, you're going to love this. And if they hated that, it's like, oh, that's great. And I understand why you struggle with that, because later we're going to take notes of that and we're going to make sure that we don't talk about that stuff if we have anything similar to that in our product. And so after we've gone through this pain cycle, and you just keep asking, anything else you've done? Anything else you've tried? Until eventually like, no, that's about it. And they say, awesome, John. I think that you're going to love what we've got for you. Can I tell you about it? So this is where we ask for permission to make the sale. And so I go sell the vacation. So I have this little moniker about selling that a lot of people sell the plane flight and not Maui or Hawaii or whatever your vacation spot is. And so they then go right into, jargon. They're like, oh, we're gonna do these color tones and we're gonna have this palette for your logo. And like, they're like, what is going on? But sale. And so we're going to take notes of that and we're going to make sure that when they say the things that they like, they did, ask that with, oh, I think if you like that, you're going to love this. And if they hated that, it's like, oh, that's great. And I understand why you struggle with that, because later we're going to take notes of that and we're going to make sure that we don't talk about that stuff if we have anything similar to that in our product. And so after we've gone through this pain cycle, and you just keep asking, anything else you've done? Anything else you've tried? Until eventually like, no, that's about it. And they say, awesome, John. I think that you're going to love what we've got for you. Can I tell you about it? So this is where we ask for permission to make the sale. And so I go sell the vacation. So I have this little moniker about selling that a lot of people sell the plane flight and not Maui or Hawaii or whatever your vacation spot is. And so they then go right into, jargon. They're like, oh, we're gonna do these color tones and we're gonna have this palette for your logo. And like, they're like, what is going on? But what people want, it's, people don't want to buy drills, they buy holes, right? And the drill is just the vehicle. And so what we want is to talk about the light breeze in their hair, what it's like at sunset, what they're going to feel like when they've got their feet in the sand and they're drinking the cold, Mai Tai at the beach and they're with their loved ones and making a memory that they'll have for the rest of their lives.
Sell the sizzle, not the steak. It's
yes.
Like a simple way.
Yeah, exactly. But what we don't want to sell is the TSA, the plane check, and take your shoes off, the guy farting next to you, the terrible food on the plane.
I don't know why they ever sell planes flying in the air. Like, that's not the enjoyable bit, is it? Unless you're in business class, maybe. But really, it's not enjoyable. Why do they sell that? Every airline listening should change right now. No. I don't know what they do.
And so I do something that I call a 3-pillar pitch. And so I almost always try and chunk up my selling points to 3 points. Why 3? I try and chunk up. My selling points to 3 points. Why 3? I don't know, but 3's just always worked really well. And so the 3-pillar pitch, I like to have basically one statement and then a metaphor. And so and I used to teach this for fitness sales all the time. So it's like, there's 3 things: fitness, nutrition, accountability. And with that, it's like, you want to have a 3-legged stool that if you're missing one of the sides, it's not going to work, right? And so it's like, if you just work out, then you're good, and you're not eating well, then it doesn't matter. You're not going to lose weight. If you just eat well, but you're not working out, you're going to lose muscle and you're going to rebound back. Is that right? And because we just knew about their pain cycle, they're like, yeah, I've had that happen before. Like, no, exactly. So you know that. And if I give you the best fitness and the best training in the world, the best fitness and the best nutrition plan in the world, but you don't actually do it because no one holds you accountable, it's not going to happen either. And so you got to have all 3. And when you have all 3, you can't lose, right? And so that's the 3 pillars. And so when I would create scripts I always tell like a completely opposite script. I made a script for a B2B mortgage sales company. And so I was like, okay, they were selling leads to realtors. And so it's like, okay, so I spent the whole morning, I was like, what are the 3 things? It was like, okay, you want leads that are exclusive to you want them to be qualified, and you want them to be timely. You want them to be like, they just opted in, they're really interested, and no one else is calling them but me. That's what you want in leads. And so it's like, these are the 3 things. And so then for each of those 3 things, you then just make one analogy or story that relates it. And so if I wanted to do, explain accountability, I would say, okay, have you ever heard of The Amazing Race? It was a show that happened, even if they had, doesn't matter. And they're like, yeah, so there was actually this couple that won so many times they had to change the rules. Do you know what they did differently? They're like, what? He's like, so what they did was whenever they'd land into a new area and they had to find the new location, they would immediately grab a local and say, hey, can you get in the back of the car and just tell us where to go? And by doing that, they always beat everyone else. And so the thing is that you want a guide. And so that's exactly what we're going to do with the accountability. And so I have like 6 different accountability stories, but that's one of them, right? And so it's like, you just want to have one story for each of the pillars. And then you just say, does that make sense? They say yes. And then you just move on to the next pillar. And you'll notice that, like, at least for me, especially in high volume transactional sales. So I would say like B2C sales, consumer sales, where it's, one and done kind of sales. I found that like when I'm like on fire in terms of selling, the person's walking out the door and they're super excited and they're like, I don't even know what I just signed up for. Because the thing is that like the more in the weeds we get, the more questions they're going to have about it. And as long as you're confident in whatever it is that you sell, just know that you're going to take care of them. Because you explaining the macros and the calories and the rep schemes, like they don't even know what it is anyways. And so they're going to nod along and try and ask questions that they don't even know why they're asking the question. Like, what kind of certifications do you have? We just ask, which ones you looking for? And they're like, I'm like, right. So they want to seem like they're asking informed questions, but they just don't know what to do. And so we do a 3-pillar pitch. And then we say, great. So then we transition to the close. So we ask for the sales. Does that make sense? Awesome. You want to get started on Monday? Yes or no, whatever. And then you start moving through it. Now, if they say anything but yes, away. So just explain away. I'm writing vertical concerns. All right. So you want to explain away their concerns. And so most concerns, mind if I erase this?
Yeah,
the
sure.
top here? So most concerns, at least as I think through them, is you've got timing concerns, which is I'm really busy right now. You've got preference concerns, which is I don't like this particular thing about your solution. You've got money, right? You've got money / ROI, whatever. You've got stalls, which is sounds similar to timing, but completely different, which is can you give me some time to think about it versus I don't have time. They both have the word time in it for sales guys off. Finally, you want to just cover past experiences. And so this is where I signed up with a creative agency just like yours, and they burned me. So you want to make sure that you have something to overcome that particular thing. And so once you understand what the core things that people have that they present with that are the reasons why they don't want to do something, you just need to understand the logical arguments for each of these bullets. So with timing, this is all about priorities. So everyone's got the same times. You just say, hey, how important is this to you? Okay, then it means that there's something else in your 24 hours a day that we need to trade that's less important than this. As long as you explain that to them, then you're good.
Perfect.
Preferences is they want your result their way. If you change the variables of the way that I do it, if you just want to do fitness and nutrition, not accountability, then you're not going to get the result. So if you change the variables, you change the outcome. And so it's just like always thinking they want my results their way. You can't just, I mean, the amount of times I'd have, ladies trying to lose weight, be like, can I just eat what I'm currently eating and then do your program? And I was like, no, because what you're currently eating is getting you what you're currently getting, right? And so then we have ROI, which we solve with logic, proof, and payment terms. So logic is just understanding like, if this does this, is it worth it? Okay. So if it is, then the problem is that they don't believe you. And so then it's all around proof. Like how many different varieties of testimonials can I demonstrate that are as similar to them as possible to get them to believe me? And we have our little belief breaking formula, but I won't even get into that. And then you've got payment terms. So it's like, okay, the person logically understands, they believe they could happen. Then it just gets into logistics of payment, which is like, okay, can you break this up for me? Can I do half now, half later, whatever. You've got stalls, which is, again, I need to think about it. But here what we do is we walk them through a logical decision. So we say, okay, do you think that you'll be more successful if you do this than if you didn't do it? Yes. Okay. Do you think that if you do it on your own versus doing it with us, you'll get close to your goal? Yes. Do you have access or know somebody who has access to the money to get started? Yes, yes, yes. Great. Then you made a logical decision. And so a lot of people are just afraid of making mistakes. And so with stalls, we want to figure out what the fear is. And so the number one triage question that we ask is, if you have less rapport, we just say, what's your main concern? If you have a little bit more rapport, I just ask, like, what are you afraid of having happen? And you can lower your voice a little bit. And they're like, I just don't want my husband to say that I spent money on this thing again. And you're like, I totally understand. What if this is the thing that 5 years from now you look back on and you're like, what if I hadn't done that? And you're sitting there, completely changed your lifestyle, and your husband and you guys are so much better now. I was like, what if you look back on this one moment? Because I think about this with my wife. I'm swiping on my phone. If I had swiped left on the app, and I hadn't met Layla, my life would be completely different than it is right now, 8 or 9 years later. And so it's like, I just don't want that to happen to you. They're like, oh man, okay. And so then,
I didn't know you met in an app, did you?
Yeah.
Should we give him a plug? Who was it?
it was Bumble.
Oh, really? There you go, Bumble.
Yeah.
Well done.
And so this is, so if someone has a past experience, so that, hey, I worked with a creative agency before and it didn't work. Therefore, you won't work.
Yeah.
And so I have yet to have an overcome here. There's also Decision Maker.
I use
Sorry, I forgot to
case
add this.
studies for this one, by the way.
Oh, this one's killer.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you how to do it. So with Burn You Twice, you just say, listen, you had something bad that happened in the past. And the only thing worse than having a bad investment is letting a bad investment prevent you from making a good one right now.
Great.
And so then we do a metaphor. So it's like, hey, are you married? A lot of times if you're old, like they're like, yeah, you're with somebody. Yes. Okay. Did you ever date anybody before that person? Yeah. Did you ever date anybody like middle school or high school? Yeah. Now imagine after your first middle school boyfriend or girlfriend,
Never
you
date
said,
anyone again. That's
exactly.
it.
So it just means that person wasn't right for you. It doesn't mean that all people aren't right for you.
Yeah.
And so there's a big difference. And so they're like, oh, I get it. So you don't want to let that person burn you twice. Once for when it happened and once when it stops you from having the good thing. And if it wasn't right for you, it first middle school boyfriend or girlfriend,
Never
you
date
said,
anyone again. That's
exactly.
it.
So it just means that that person wasn't right for you. It doesn't mean that all people aren't right for you.
Yeah.
And so there's a big difference. And so they're like, oh, I get it. So you don't want to let that person burn you twice. Once for when it happened and once when it stops you from having the good thing. And then there's Decision Maker, which is I don't have the authority to make the decision. I don't bring that one up because it's one of the hardest ones to overcome. And people have a lot of harsh beliefs in the comments about how I overcome this stuff. Because they're like, you should always get permission from the spouse. And it depends. If you're buying a house, yeah, you're going to need permission. Having a good thing. And then there's Decision Maker, burn you twice. Once for when it happened and once when
Once for when it happened and once.
it stops you from having the good thing. Get it? So you don't want to let that person burn you twice. Once for when it happened and once when it stops you from having the good.
Stops you. Good thing. Okay, perfect.
Good thing. And then there's Decision Maker, which is I don't have the authority to make the decision. I don't bring that one up because it's one of the hardest ones to overcome. And people have a lot of harsh beliefs in the comments about how I overcome this stuff. Because they're like, you should always get permission from the spouse. And it depends. If you're buying a house, yeah, you're going to need permission from the spouse.
Kind of.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so obviously you want to bring that person. If you know that whatever you sell requires somebody else, you want to make sure the decision makers are on the call. But there are times when you're in a selling situation where like you've got one shot. And so for us, I try to overcome decision maker or authority to make the decision by first saying, okay, well, what if they say no? And so if I have a guy, I'll lean into his ego and I'll be like, what if your wife doesn't give you permission?
Yeah. Better ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
I use that at the very end. Yeah. But yeah, so what if she doesn't give you permission? Because then it makes them really, and they're like, no, I could, and it's like, oh, great, let's get you going. You know what I mean? As soon as they bounce back, you're good. But if they say, no, I wouldn't do it, then you say, well, what do you think they'd be against? So now I'm now isolating towards variables. Like what are the actual things that they would say no to? Because I can overcome that, not the decision. And so they're like, oh, they'd be it'd be this particular thing. But now I'm off decision. Now, if they're still like, no, it doesn't matter. Then it's like, okay, well, do they know that you're here right now? They know that you're struggling with this thing. Yeah, they know that you're struggling. Do they approve of that? Well, they don't. No, they don't approve of it. They're not happy that I'm struggling with this. It's like, oh, then why would they be against something that they already don't approve of? So they're relying on past agreements. So it's like you already have the permission. They know that you're struggling. Why wouldn't they want you to solve it? And it's like, well, if your wife's anything like my wife, like we end up making it work in the end, anyways, right? And then we'll go into, I think you might be asking for permission instead of support.
Deep psychology you get into. Like, started to be marriage counselor, isn't it? It's time you stood up for yourself, you know?
Well, because then you play it out and you say, listen, because if you don't do this and you don't do it because of your wife or whatever, because let's say you go home and she says no. Okay, fine. Well, play this forward 5 years. Your business isn't in the place you want it to be. You're not at the weight you want to be. You have this back pain you want, whatever the thing that you sell around is. It's like 5 years from now, who are you going to blame? You going to blame her? Or you going to blame you? I don't think it's fair to either of you. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you got to be able to make these decisions. Now, again, I just think, and this is where you go into like, I think you're asking for permission when you really just need support.
By the way, Amazon do a brilliant job of ticking most of these off, but just saying, we'll give you a refund, you can send it back and it won't cost you anything. So my wife gets a package a day, and she's like, don't worry, If I don't like it, I can send it back. So like I don't object, and it's like okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't see much going back. But the point is, you can just get rid of it by money back guarantee, or
totally.
giving people some comfort.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, or delayed, or you can do a delay pay with the payment term. You say, hey, just say yes now, sign the contract. I'll delay the payment till Friday. And between now and then, if you go home and your husband says, no, sweetie, I want you to live 10 years less long. I want you to be fat. I want you to have generational unhealth.
If you really want to die young,
Yeah, exactly. If he says that to you, call me up first. I'll talk to him. But
Divorce
secondly,
lawyer.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I make some jokes about it. And then the final one here is, let's assume you explain away their concern. They're like, yeah, I want to do it. And I added this one later, which is you reinforce the decision. And so one of the major things that happens, and I had to add this in because I wanted my sales guys to make sure that they completed the transition of the handoff to customer success and onboarding. And until I had this, it was just like explain away their concerns, close the deal, and then it was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, we have to bridge this. We have to reinforce that they made a great call. So say, hey, right now I'm going to introduce you to Sarah. Sarah's going to get you started. Hey, Sarah, this is John. John's trying to retire his wife. John's trying to get in shape for a wedding, whatever it is. Sarah's going to help you take the next steps. Now then Sarah is going to start the onboarding conversation of how do I relate the actions that this person has to take with their goal and say, hey, we're going to help you retire your wife. We're going to help you look good for that wedding. But these are the first 3 steps. Anyway, so that's how you get people to give you money.
In England, there's a new gym that's opened up called Third Space. And one of the things they've done is they've also limited supply. So they basically, I went there, it's a beautiful gym. It's like $1,000 a month for it. And they're like, we don't have his space right now.
Yeah.
But put you on the waiting list.
Yeah.
And then a few days later they ring you up and say, someone's just left. But do you want it now?
Yeah.
And that's actually a brilliant, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So limiting supply is another element.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast with Alex. I've just written a book, guys. It's taken me 35 years to get all this knowledge, and I put it all in here. It will help you remove any subconscious bias you have for stopping you from starting your dream. The key in this book that I want you to learn is if you want your dream to happen, you've got to make other people's dreams happen first. The link is down in the description. It would mean a lot to me if you bought it.
Okay, probably tomorrow I can try and stream about looking for a video about trading and study that. Probably tomorrow I could do that. But okay, for now I'm not really interested in trading right now because I think that a lot of people see trading as a fast way of doing money, and it's not that fast, bro. It's not that fast. It takes a lot of time and you need to study a lot, bro, because if how the market works, bro. So you need to study a lot about that, bro. But probably tomorrow I could do a stream about trading. I could search for a good video about trading, study it, and I could try a way to do $1 million using trading. But for now, I want to start a business instead of trying trading. For now. Okay, bro. Right now, I'm really tired, bro. So I think I'm gonna stop here because I'm really tired. I really need to sleep right now, bro. I really need to sleep right now. So we finish with the get them to buy, closer, clarify, label, overview, sell the vacation, explanation, and reinforce the decision, bro. Reinforce the decision. So I'm gonna stop right here because I'm really tired and I really need to sleep. So thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for today, for being here with me. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Right now I have 57 subscribers. I hope tomorrow, probably tomorrow, please. I hope, 58 subscribers. Yo, 58, bro, 58. But I hope for tomorrow to have 70 subscribers, bro. 70 70, please. 70. 70 or 75, please. Okay. I have hope, bro. Right now. But I'm real tired. Thank you so much for staying here with me. I was just saying it to the streams are more diverse you feel. Yes, okay. I could try that, but I think that I'm trying different ways. I'm learning from different people. I'm learning different ideas, different things right now. I'm hearing different ideas. I'm learning from different people, different business model. So the streams are very different right now because we're learning different things right now. But I can try. I can try probably tomorrow. And let's. I will search for a very interesting YouTube video about trading. Probably tomorrow. And I can also search for e-commerce information. Okay, let's watch a video about e-commerce as well. But for now, I need to learn how to sell people. How to sell to people. Bro, I need to learn how to sell to people. How to sell is one of the most important things. Because I can have any product, and if I don't know how to sell, I will never sell that product. So I need to learn how to sell. I need to know how to sell this pen. I need to know how to sell this Thor hammer right here. I need to know how to sell that. Okay, 58 subscribers, bro. 58. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Probably I will do a stream about trading, or probably DMing business owners and offering my marketing service. I will do that tomorrow probably, because I want to apply this information. So I want to try to DM the business owners and get them to a call and apply this information. So I want to apply this information. So probably tomorrow I will search for a video about trading and then watch a video about trading, and also I will DM business owners. Because right now I need money, bro. Money, cash. So probably tomorrow I will DM business owners and make business proposals as well. For today, I want to sleep. So for today is all. And thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much that you are here with me. So thank you. And that's all for today. So remember. The most important thing. One life, one shot.